Well, we are clear on the fact that Nigerian people don't want us to talk to the ruling parties. So we are not going to do APC, we are not going to do PDP. And from what I'm hearing from majority, they are also not going to deal with anyone who recently came from PDP or APC. So whatever the party that the person is running on now. So I think the rest of us who have a clean record, who have a fresh face, who have no history of having said something against the third force 4 years ago, 8 years ago, or 12 years ago. So those who are not part of those who said, oh, PDP will rule forever, or PDP is the best, or APC is doing well. So anybody who has a history of just coming from the people and emerging from the people, so that would be most of the other political parties. We're about 14 political parties, essentially. And there are over 200 persons. So it will be difficult for me to mention the name of the 200 leaders or to list all the 14 political parties without inadvertently missing one person who will feel like they've been undermined.
Because you mentioned that you would not merge with the ruling party or the main opposition PDP or anyone who has left these parties, and that would mean that you would not merge with the Labour Party, for example, where you have a Peter Obi who just left the PDP, and you would not merge with a Kwankwaso who also just left one of the big parties. So, but when you look at these two parties, Nigerians can easily say that a third force has already emerged, especially when you look at someone like Peter Obi. Isn't it safe to say that, look, any other arrangement you're having now is not going to be the third force, because it looks like the third force has already emerged in the party with Labour Party and Peter Obi?
Well, I don't know who can define the third force better than those of us who are in the third force. So, and Labour Party is a member of the third force, but the candidate that they have is not a member of the third force. So they may join the third force, which means that their candidate will queue behind the third force and learn third force ways. It's up to them. But what we are saying, in essence, is that the third force is about ideas. It's about principles. It's about trying to create another pathway. It's not a convenient vehicle to be used by someone who could not succeed in PDP or APC. But in a free society, people are entitled to take any trade name that they like. So if another person is saying that they are a third force, it's freedom of speech. But they will not have the third force component, they will have the third force cadre, and they will have the third force principle behind them. And because we want the Nigerian people to get a real alternative, not a fake alternative like they got in 2015, we will keep reminding people what the third force is, and that it's about principle. It's not about personal ambition. It's not about running a campaign, mouthing principles that you don't understand, that you cannot survive 2 or 3 questions, and the hollowness of it will show quickly. It is not running against your previous record. It's not about telling a bunch of lies that can easily be debunked by any rational person.